So welcome to the channel, friends. All right. So this is one of the most common uh, issues I see on my desk, and that is a laptop that will power on, that all the lights will come on, but the screen will remain blank. Today we have this HP laptop 15, and it's exhibiting all those symptoms. So without further ado, let's see what's going on here. So I'm gonna plug the AC adapter in. Actually, the battery on this particular machine is weak, so but that's not the issue. Uh, I've pulled the battery itself and it still wouldn't boot up. But anyway, let's simulate what's really going on here. So plug the AC adapter in, press my power button, and I'm watching and I'm listening. First off, the light is on this side, which is normal, and on this other side you should start having some lights once it start hitting the, yeah, so I can see a light right there once it start hitting the hard drive. In addition, the fan is going like crazy, which is normal at startup for this machine, but still nothing. So first off, when you see this blank, you want to double check, is it completely blank or is there like a backlight issue? And one way to do that is to use a light, like a flashlight, or you can use your phone. I'm going to use my phone in this case, and I'm going to turn it on. And what I'm doing here, I'm looking at the panel if I see any faint light at all, like a HP logo or Windows loading. Nothing. So nothing at this stage. Now, the next thing I usually do is plug in an plug in an external monitor. If you don't have an external monitor, you can skip that test. You can even do this on a TV though. So if I'm using my external monitor, usually it's best to turn the machine off completely and then plug in your display cable. So I'm gonna, because I can't see anything, I'm gonna press the power button until it shuts off. Okay, then I'm gonna plug I have an external monitor, so I'm gonna plug that in. If you have an older external monitor, it could be a VGA connector like this. In this case, I'm using this is very common. This will fit most TV, and a lot of laptops you will find, sorry, external display will use HDMI or VGA or even a display cable, which is a slight different one than this, right? So I'm gonna plug this in. So using my external monitor just to check if there's anything else coming up at all on the external monitor, right? AC adapter plugged in, hit my power button, and you can't see my panel, but it's towards my right, and I'm keeping an eye on that. So usually what would happen when you have an external monitor, it will still go through the steps and it will try to show first on the internal monitor, in this case a laptop, and then after a while it should start activate the external monitor. And so I'm looking to my right, I'm making sure my monitor is turned on. So if you're using a TV, your TV is turned on and it's set to the right team HDMI input if you're using a TV. Okay, so far I see nothing on my external monitor, just blank also, internal blank. Okay, so at this stage, what I'm gonna do next, I'll just press and hold the power button down because I can't see anything at all, and it shuts off. I unplug my AC adapter, remove my cable if you plug it in. If you didn't have any of those and you skip that step, step, that's fine. So what I'm going to do now is to do a reset. So in order to do a reset on this older HP, I will need to remove the battery, and I'll hold the power button down for about 30 seconds. So on this HP, it's got two clips on the side. I push them in, and the battery pops out. The battery is out. Now I want to show you something else. On some newer machine, you won't have to do that to do a reset, because there is a port on the side. Let me make sure I have the right one. There's actually a reset port. So there's a reset port. It looks like almost like an upsided, it looks like an N. It just kind of, it goes like a little curve, and that's for reset. You will need to stick something like a paper clip in there and hold that down for about 15 to 20 seconds. And when you're doing that, you don't need to reset. If you have one of these reset port, you don't need to remove the battery to do a reset. You can just plug the paper clip in, keep it in for 15 to 20 seconds, or you can have even one of those phone ejector, those little metal pin. You can plug this in there too and hold it down. Okay. Now for these machines, the older machines, we'll need to remove the battery like I did, and this is the one with the issue anyway. So I remove the battery, and then I'm gonna press and hold the power button down for 15 to, in this case, I normally 30 seconds is a sweet spot, so let's hold it down for 30 seconds. So AC adapter unplug, battery out. I'm holding the power button down. Okay, so that's about 20 seconds. If you hold it for 35 or 40, it's not gonna hurt it. Just want to give it 20 to 30 seconds, right? Okay, so that should be good enough. Should reset everything, reset all the power state, clear anything that was locked up on the power rail, and then now I'm going to plug my AC adapter back in, double check that I get a power. I won't see any amber light. The battery is out right now, so you should just see just one steady white light. Then I'm going to power on. I'll also plug my external display in, just in case. It's not going to hurt anything. So again, I can hear my fan going like crazy. My fan's going. All the lights are flashing on the side. Still nothing. I actually see my external displays flickering now. So it reads that the HDMI is plugged in, but still nothing. And there's still nothing on my panel. Okay, so what else can we do? So next step we want to do is to remove everything. So remove everything. If you have any port, any external mouse, keyboard, dangle plugged in, remove them. And remember we removed the battery before. So what we're going to do this time is to completely tear the machine, take the cover off. On this particular machine there are some screws under these legs, so you want to open it up and take those screws out and check if some of any screws are what size they are. So just make sure you put them back. So in the interest of time, I've already started dismantling this. So that's dismantled. So I know your machine may be different, depends on what you're working with. So what I want to do, one of the things you want to do first is to reset your memory stick. So in this case, there's one stick of RAM. If there were two, what I would do is just take one out and just reset the other one, right? And what you're trying to do is to eliminate whether you have a bad issue or a memory stick that wasn't seated properly. So you're going to put it back in, press it down, Press the clip down, and we're just going with one stick first to see if we will boot up, right? Okay, at this time you don't have to put your battery back in. So now if you're comfortable, you could flip it over and work with it like this, power it on. If you're not comfortable, it is better to actually put your cover back on. Just put it back on just to protect the fan spinning below. Okay, then you're gonna open it back again, and you're gonna plug this in. Plug your AC adapter in, because remember your battery is out, right? Hit the power. And I see on my machine, when I hit the power, I'm pretty sure I saw like a faint flicker, like the backlight, not the backlight, but it almost, you know, when you turn a light on and it comes on, I see something like a faint light, like it comes on. But the screen didn't light up, just like almost a flash, momentary flash. Okay, and I actually noticed something else this time that I didn't see before. There is actually showing on my screen a faint HP logo. So let's show if I can turn it up by pressing the... Okay, so it's not turning on, it's not getting any brighter. So I'm beginning to suspect that there may be something either with the panel itself, the backlight, or it could just be with the cable, the LCD cable. So let me plug the external, I'm plugging in the HDMI cable. Because since there's something showing up on this now, we may have something show up on the external monitor this time. Okay, nothing yet, but so far it didn't say anything like no cable detected. So remember at this time, oh, and there we go, we have external display. So that's one step. So that's a good step. So now I have external display, and if I may show you this, I'll just turn it around, turn my camera around a bit and give you a little peek. Where is it? So there you go. So that's my monitor coming up. So let me turn things back around so we can focus on this right here. Just want to give you the best shot of this one. Sorry, I think I got my thing off there. Okay, alrighty, so that's better. So we're getting display on the external monitor. So that's a good thing. That means video subsystem is working fine, and I momentarily saw a faint display on this. So it could be backlight, or it could be something's going on with the LCD cable. So what I'm gonna do now that I can work off of the external monitor, I'm gonna shut the external monitor down, so I won't just press this anymore. So I'll just do a power Windows and then do a power down. And the next step that I'm gonna do, so still no full display or no display at all. I saw a faint display on the LCD panel internal, and now I can see display on the external. So that tells me it doesn't have anything to do with the internal video or the video subsystem. It could be backlight, it could be something to do with your actual LCD cable. So I'm gonna reset the LCD cable from the board itself. Now if you're comfortable doing this is gonna be a little bit more involved. if you're comfortable doing this, it's not very difficult. Make sure you're not on carpet. Uh, Preferably, if you have something like a anti-static screen, a wrist strap, that would be good. So what you want to do is, if you have something like this, you would plug the other hand or clip it on a metal conduct component, or just hold on to a metal component yourself and don't be standing on carpet, because now you're gonna work a little bit closer with the board. And so this is something you can do. Just be careful. If it's not that difficult. So I have a cable. I have a connector that I plugged it on here, and then I have this. I don't even have to use this because I'm not going to be grabbing the board. But okay, we're shutting down. So I do a shutdown from this. So we're getting somewhere. So I'm going to go power, and I can do a shutdown. So what we're going to do next. So bear with me. Even at this stage, if you still didn't get anything from your external monitor, I want you to still follow the steps that I'm doing. Right? So you're going to shut your machine down. Unplug everything. Battery's already out, remember. If your machine's got a battery that's internal, unplug that battery too. Okay, so for this machine, let's take the cover back off. So what I'm gonna do, there's usually two places you can remove or reseat the cable. So on the board here, you have the LCD. In my case, on this machine, HP laptop 15, it's saying LCD on it, but you will see the cable that runs towards the LCD panel, and you can actually take that out. You will need something like a non-metallic tool, and look at it closely. This was paste on this, so it's not taped down anymore. So just want to make sure it's firm. But what I'm gonna do though, actually one side seemed like it's slightly out. But anyway, let's see. Yeah, it wasn't all the way in, but it was in enough. So I've taken it out completely, and I'm gonna reseat it. Let's put it back in, and most of them will be similar. You just pop them out, and you're gonna put them back in all the way. And when you put it back in, the metal part of it should be completely in, right? So, and both sides should be pushed up as far as possible. So on this machine, see what it looks like there. So completely plugged in, and then this is a tape that I pushed over. Okay, and I'm gonna go at it one more time. Now if your machine is different, such as this one, which is the Lenovo, your cable is gonna be a little different. But again, it's gonna be that cable that runs from the back, and the clip on it, in this case, this is not a push-in clip, this is a flip-up clip. So there's a black tab that you can just pull up. I pull it up with my fingernail, or you could use a tool like this to lift it up, and you would take it out and push it back in. This one is different. This one's just got like a ribbon cable that's pushed all the way in. So you would take this out, and then once it's down, right? So this machine, this portable machine doesn't have a problem. I'm just showing you that in some cases, if you're dealing with a new machine, you may have the display cable attached to the board on this side that's plugged in a little differently, okay? So that's probably the last thing I'm going to show you on this other machine. So okay, so what we did last was to reset the cable and reseat the cable. So I'm gonna power it back in. So we're going through process for elimination little by little, and we're seeing some improvement. At least I saw a little light on the screen, and I'm getting external display. Okay, so I plug still my battery is out. That shouldn't be a problem. That won't stop issue with the display, or won't cause issue with the display. So that's plugged in. And this time I'm not going to plug in the external. I know the external work. I want to see internal. So I'm powering on. And again, I see a little flicker, a quick flicker. And then I can see a faint, I don't know if you will see it, but there's a faint, okay, so those are reflection. It's not actually showing, but it shows up momentarily. I see the HP logo. So I am down at this stage to two things. It could be the LCD panel backlighting, or it could be the LCD cable on the other side. See, even now I can see that it's up. I can see that I see the HP logo, I see the user, and but it's very faint. So it could be backlight issue, which would mean it's the LCD panel itself, which would have to be replaced. That would be an expensive venture, or a more expensive venture, such as I would rather it be something like replacing the LCD cable itself. But so far, and then it disappears. So I'm assuming it's logged into Windows. If it was plugged in now, I would have Windows on the external monitor. So we're gonna power this off now, and the next step I'm gonna do is you can do this yourself too. If you're comfortable with doing this, you can do it yourself. So unplug my AC adapter. The next thing I'm gonna do is to check the cable. So there are two places that is connected. You see where we reseated the one on the system board side. Now I'm gonna go from the LCD panel side. So this is what's called a display. This is a bezel, or a screen bezel, and usually they're not that difficult to take off, right? You kind of just pop them off. You're gonna need something very thin, like I have this metal tool here. Let's call it a spudger, and I'm gonna find the ends, and just usually they're just clipped down, regardless of the laptop. Many laptops are like this. They will just have a bezel like this that you can pop off, right? And you want to be careful not to break the bezel itself. You just put it in the hand, and then always when you get to the top near the camera, just be careful, don't press it all the way. So it's coming off, and these are just clip, and then I use my finger and just press it, or pull it forward a bit. Let's get tight down here. Okay, let's open the screen a little bit more. We're gonna get this done. So at this stage, maybe many people will send this to a technician like myself to do. But if this is your machine and its warranty is expired and you feel comfortable, this is something you can definitely do yourself. It's not that difficult. See, I'm doing it here, and I'm not really pretending or doing anything special. So just take your time and see how it's in there. If you need to open the screen a little more, open it. See, for me, I'm not even 100% sure how this is, but I'm trying. If it doesn't open when If it doesn't come out, so I put it a little bit more right angle, and I'm still working on it. This side came out and it looks like it's just pressed over, so I just pull up. Yeah, and see, that's all it was over the hinge. So this bezel is good. If you break this, you can buy this back. It's not difficult. It's not very expensive, but you don't want that, right? This is probably about 30 bucks or so, I don't know. Okay, so now we're down to the LCD panel. We can see the LCD panel. So here, if you usually see something like this says do not touch. Now from the look of things, this almost looks like somebody tries. This looks a little bruised around the edges here. And I am going to, unfortunately, when you get to this stage, you're gonna have to remove this cable, or you're gonna have to remove the panel, because you can see the cable is coming around on the other side. So remember I said there are two places it's plugged in. We've reseated the one on the board, but there's another one actually on the panel itself. Now to remove this panel, I'm looking at it here, you have one screw up here. Looks like you have two screws, right? And these are what you call star head screws. So you just need a small tip like this. So they're all the same. Okay, so what I'm going to do at this stage is to flip this LCD panel forward. So I'm not going to let it fall, because you don't want to break it, so you want to hold it down and it should come up, because those are the four screws. And I'm going to pull it aside, and look at that. I can see where it's connected. And you know something? It looks like the cable looks like it's off a bit. So there, usually what you'll find on these cables, they're tape. So I am looking at this tape and it looks like this tape was actually not the original tape. Like I said, this looked like it was worked on before at some point. This is a regular transparent tape, and look at that. As I pull that tape, I don't know if you can see, look at this. That's the cable right there, connector. So this is coming from the board and it's plugged in here, but already I can see it, and look at that. Oh my goodness, I don't know if you gotta see it. Oh, it just pops out. It just pops out like that. So definitely that's what we had going there. The cable was unseated, or it wasn't fully unseated. It was like a halfway in. Okay, so that, my friend, could be what's going on. I am pretty confident that this is gonna fix the situation. So what I want to do is to unplug that, and I'm gonna put it back in. So let's tear this off. Maybe I should even get a new piece, because this looks like it's old. Okay, so I'm gonna reseat the cable itself, so align it properly, and I'm just gonna push it in. Sometimes you could clean it, but it seems pretty clean. I don't think that has anything to do with it not being clean. It was just unplugged. It was just sideways in. And maybe that's why we had a little bit of display. Okay, so I align it properly, and I'm going to push on it so it's all the way in. Some of these cables will have a little piece that you fold over to lock it in. I like those. Those seem to disconnect less, but this just it's just pressed in, and then this piece look like it lost its glue over time. So by itself it's not keeping it down. And that's why this was pushed in. So this is good, but it's not very strong. So I am going to put a new piece of cable on it. sorry, tape. So I'm going to put a new piece of tape instead of that one. So I pushed all the way in, and then I'm going to put the tape over the original tape. I'll press it down. But while you do, if you do this, just be careful. Don't apply too much pressure on the back of the LCD panel, right? So this looks good. This should keep it for a while. And that's good solid tape. And I can take this out. I won't even bother use this. It's no good to me. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, I'm not even going to connect everything back up. I'm just going to rest this back in place. Just watch everything. If you get this far, you don't want to break your cable, because it looks like after all you may not need to replace the LCD panel. LCD panel is usually, so this is just a matter of putting this over a guide, a plastic guide here and a plastic guide here, and then we need to put the screw in. So just because I'm just going to be super careful, I'm going to put the top two screws in just so it doesn't fall forward on me. So let's see, screws in to go in. Before I do that, I'm gonna put my AC adapter back in, and I'm gonna power this bad boy up and see what's going on. Okay, check my lights on, and screen is ready to go, I hope. Power press, flicker, I see the flicker, I see another flicker, second flicker. Didn't see that. Oh, and look at that. Look at that. You can see that HP logo. It's brighter than it seems there. I can actually see the spinning windows loading up. So that, my friend, was the problem. That was the problem. So if you've gotten this far, it could be that I hope that was as, I shouldn't say simple, but as easy or cheaper than the other option, which could be that the panel is completely dead. But if you've gotten this far with me and you've reseated your cables, so if you've gotten this far with me, kudos to you. If this fixes your situation where it's a reseat of the cable, either from the reseat of the cable from the system board end or from the monitor end, I'm so happy for you. At this stage, if you're still having an issue with display, it could be the panel, or even better, hopefully it's the LCD cable. So it's a short cable which you would just need to remove. Make sure you get the right part number, and I would reseat that cable, because they do go bad, and it's a lot cheaper to replace the cable than your entire LCD panel. Okay, if you have any other questions, anything along the way you got lost or you're running into some issue, drop me a link below. I will just respond. Not a problem. Again, please remember to like, to share, and really subscribe so I can grow this channel. Until next time, have yourself a great day. Bye now.